In the violent world of Invincible, where the fate of the world is often decided by planetary scale battles and godlike beings, it's easy to succumb to the might makes right fallacy. However, the show's most pivotal victory wasn't won with a fist, but through the moral fortitude of a woman with no superpowers at all. Debbie Grayson did more than just survive a marriage to a conqueror. She effectively saved Earth from 3 different Viltrumites: Nolan, Mark, and Oliver. The Viltrumite Empire operates on the cold logic of longevity and conquest. To Nolan, Earth was initially a curiosity, a pet project. If Debbie had been anything less than the woman she is, if she were toxic, indifferent, or weak-willed, Nolan would have completed his mission without a second thought, which, side note, is kind of funny to imagine a Viltrumite trying to deal with a toxic lover, but instead, Debbie provided a masterclass in what it means to be human. Nolan even said it himself, that in 20 years with a being that's been around for 1,000, she was able to make one of the most deadly and devoted Viltrumites human in spirit. And it went even further than just causing him to abandon his post. At his lowest point of despair, when he was sentenced to death and waiting for it without objection, she was his strongest reason for living. And as we all know, Nolan surviving was what made the war between the Coalition and the Viltrumites somewhat even. And it wasn't only because of his power, but his knowledge of the Viltrumites' weaknesses. But let's take it back to his time on Earth, to one of the moments that changed him forever. During Mark's childhood baseball game, she didn't just explain the rules of a sport to Nolan. She explained the value of the mundane. She forced a galactic predator to value the small, fleeting moments of a short-lived species. Her love became a tether that Nolan couldn't sever, even when his bloodline demanded it. When he eventually abandoned his post, it wasn't because any hero on Earth was physically capable of stopping him. Not even Cecil with his superpower of taxpayer money would ever be able to get through, but it was all because of Debbie's influence that made the cost of victory, the death of his family, too high for him to pay. Debbie's bravery is distinct because it exists in the presence of total vulnerability. When she stood up to Nolan, she knew he was physically untouchable, yet she never flinched or held back what she felt like she needed to say to him. Her strength was most evident in her refusal to be a martyr or a doormat. Unlike her early comic counterpart, the show's iteration of Debbie is defined by her boundaries. When Nolan returned, she didn't simply fall back into his arms, she demanded accountability. By standing her ground, she taught Nolan the most important lesson a Viltrumite can learn: that power does not grant you the right to be forgiven. This emotional discipline is what forced Nolan to work for his redemption, which only makes it that much more satisfying for the viewer. Debbie's influence extends to the next generation of protectors, Nolan's sons. She was the one who called out Mark when he began to let his powers go to his head, reminding him that being invincible doesn't mean being exempt from human empathy. She grounded him, ensuring that when he fought for the people, not for the glory. Her greatest act of grace, however, was her care of Oliver. Despite Oliver being the physical manifestation of Nolan's betrayal, a son from another world, Debbie chose to mother him. In doing so, she broke the cycle of Viltrumite coldness. She ensured that Oliver, like Mark, would grow up with a human heart. By raising these 2 boys with unconditional love, despite her own immense trauma, she essentially de-weaponized 2 potential conquerors and turned them into Earth's greatest defenders. Through every betrayal, every world-ending threat, and a life spent in the shadow of giants, Debbie Grayson remained the moral North Star of the series. She never got a true break for herself, and she never asked for a cape, but she remains the reason there is still a world left to save. Debbie Grayson proves that you don't need the stars to change the world. You just need the courage to stay human when the world asks you to be something else. I'd like to give a shout out to this viewer for giving me this video idea, and also a huge shout out to all the good parents out there. As a parent myself, I know how easy but hard it can be. I hope you guys enjoyed breaking down this character as much as I did. We actually just hit 30 subscribers, so a massive thank you to everyone showing love early on. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button and join the community. Also, let me know in the comments who we should tackle next, whether it's a superhero, a TV icon, or even a real person. Don't forget to leave a like on your way out, and I'll see you in the next one.